The way Freen looks at Becky that started 1,000 debates. There are moments that arrive quietly and leave loudly. No announcements, no dramatic music, no deliberate intention to be noticed. Just a look, brief, unguarded, and completely human. That is how it began. Not with a confession, not with a headline, but with the way Freen looks at Becky. And somehow that was enough to start 1,000 debates. A look that doesn't seek attention. What makes the look so unsettling to some, and so captivating to others, is that it doesn't try to be anything. It isn't exaggerated. It isn't performed. It doesn't wait for a camera angle. It happens when Freen forgets she's being watched. Her eyes soften before her face does. Her posture shifts slightly, like her body recognizes safety before her mind catches up. There's a pause, not hesitation but presence. That pause is what people notice, because it doesn't belong to acting. It belongs to instinct. Why people noticed before they understood. Fans didn't immediately label it as romance. First they just felt it. Something was different. The way Freen listens when Becky speaks, not waiting to respond but absorbing. The way her attention narrows, as if the rest of the room dims. The way her expression changes in micro moments, too subtle to rehearse. These are not choices actors make. They are reactions people have. And once people saw it, they couldn't unsee it. The debates were never really about romance. On the surface, the debates sound like this. Is it real? Is it acting? Is there something more? But beneath that, the real question is simpler, and more uncomfortable. Why does this feel so genuine? Because audiences are used to chemistry being loud. Grand gestures. Obvious tension. Clear signals. What Freen gives Becky is quieter, and that's what disrupts expectations. It doesn't demand interpretation. It invites observation. The look that can't be timed or taught. Acting schools teach eye contact. They teach emotional projection. They teach connection. What they cannot teach is familiarity. Freen's look doesn't reach for Becky. It rests there. Like she knows what she'll find. Like she's been there before. There's no urgency in it. No need to impress. Just recognition. And recognition is something audiences instinctively trust. When the camera becomes irrelevant. The most talked about moments aren't during scripted scenes. They happen offbeat. During interviews. At fan events. While listening, not speaking. When laughter fades into quiet. That's when the look appears. And that's when debates ignite. Because when someone forgets the camera, what remains is truth. Or at least something close enough to disturb the line between fiction and reality. Why denial never silenced the conversation? If it were only projection, it would have faded. If it were only imagination, it would have collapsed under repetition. But the look stayed consistent. Cross time. Cross settings. Cross pressure. Consistency is persuasive. People argue not because the evidence is weak, but because it's too subtle to pin down and too persistent to ignore. The look as a language. What Freen communicates with Becky doesn't rely on words. It says, I see you. I'm here. I'm steady. That kind of communication doesn't require explanation. And it doesn't benefit from definition. It exists comfortably in the in-between, where real connections often live. Why some people need it to be explained. Ambiguity makes people uneasy, especially when it feels intimate. A look like that challenges the idea that everything meaningful must be declared. It suggests that some connections don't perform for approval. They simply exist. And for an audience trained to consume clarity, that can feel threatening. So debates begin, not to uncover truth, but to regain control over it. What the look protects. By never explaining it, Freen protects something essential. The authenticity of the moment. Once named, it would be dissected. Once labeled, it would be owned by expectation. Once confirmed, it would no longer belong solely to the two people sharing it. Silence keeps it intact. Why 1,000 debates still haven't dimmed it? Debates usually wear things down. This one hasn't. Because the look continues. Not louder. Not more obvious. Just steady. And steadiness is the hardest thing to fake. Conclusion. The power of what isn't said. The way Freen looks at Becky started 1,000 debates not because it promised answers, but because it refused to. It reminded people of something rare. That connection doesn't always announce itself. That care doesn't always need explanation. That some truths are strongest when they remain unspoken. And maybe that's why the look lingers. Because long after the debates fade, long after the theories quiet down, what remains is the feeling that something real passed between two people, and for a moment the world noticed.